Why are you online but don't you reply to my messages? Why does your silence burn louder than any spoken word? Why does the small green dot beside your name feel like a universe where you exist? But not for me. I stare at the screen, heart trembling like a wounded bird. Your status glowing, yet your heart darkened to my presence. Is it distance? Or is it simply indifference wearing the mask of time? Why are you online but don't you reply to my messages? Is my love too heavy for your hands to carry? Or too soft for your heart to feel? I type delete, my emotions trapped between courage and fear. Maybe you saw it. Maybe you ignored it. Maybe you opened it, sighed, and thought, not now. But why does not now always become never? Why are you online but don't you reply to my messages? Do my words no longer carry warmth? Maybe you are scrolling through a world where my name does not exist anymore, where my words do not echo the way they once did, where my heart no longer fits in the spaces you promised were mine forever. I watch your online status like a sky that never rains even when the clouds are heavy. You are there, present but unreachable, near but never close. I wonder if my messages feel like storms to you, if my love arrives like thunder, when your heart only wants silence. I wonder if every typing you see from me makes you turn away, afraid of the weight of my feelings. Why do you stay online, if not to listen to the voice that trembles in every word I send? Why does your presence feel like an illusion, a lighthouse that shines, but never guides me home? I wait, not for a long message, not for a poem, not for an explanation, just a single reply, a single sign that I still live somewhere, in the corners of your thoughts. But the silence grows, and my heart begins to understand what my mind refuses to accept, that sometimes a person can be online, yet miles away from you, lost in a world where your love no longer reaches. I refresh the chat again, hoping the universe has shifted. In the last few seconds, hoping your heart suddenly remembered mine. The screen stays the same, silent, cold, untouched by your fingertips. I tell myself you're busy, that life has wrapped you in its storms, that maybe you're carrying burdens you don't know how to share yet. But a quiet voice inside whispers that people make time for what matters, and your time no longer belongs to me. Still I wait. Waiting has become a language I speak fluently, a language written in unread messages and nights spent staring at a glowing screen. That never glows for me. Your online status feels like a door left open, but blocked by an invisible wall. I can see you, but I cannot reach you. I can speak, but you do not hear me. Did my love irritate you? Did my honesty scare you? Did the depth of my affection push you further away instead of pulling you closer? I replay our old conversations, looking for clues, searching for the moment when your replies turned to pauses, when your heart turned to distance, when my messages turned to burdens you didn't want to carry anymore. Every silence from you echoes like a confession that hurts more than any spoken truth. I keep asking myself, if love is supposed to feel like this, a one-sided conversation, where my heart speaks and yours pretends not to hear. Your silence is not empty, it is full of answers you refuse to say out loud. It holds 1,000 unspoken truths, 1,000 tiny heartbreaks you deliver without a single word. Sometimes I think of typing a long message, pouring everything, every ache, every hope, every memory, into one final paragraph. But then I stop, because even my longest words cannot cross the short distance between your heart and mine. Your online presence feels like a ghost of the person I used to know so well, a shadow that looks like you, but touches nothing, reaches out for no one, least of all me. I tell myself, maybe you're healing, maybe you're confused, maybe you're lost in thoughts you don't know how to share. But deep down, I fear another truth, that you're simply choosing a world where I don't belong. And still I wait, because love makes fools of even the strongest hearts, and mine refuses to give up, even when yours already has. Every time you come online, hope rises with foolish courage. Maybe this time, maybe now, maybe tonight. But the silence repeats. its cruel, familiar song. I wonder if you realize how many tiny heartbreaks you give me every night without even speaking. How a simple scene can feel like the sharpest blade. How a missing reply can feel like the end of a world I built around your name. I write messages in my mind that I know I'll never send, questions I'm too afraid to ask, feelings I'm scared you won't value, truths that might push you even further away. Sometimes I think of sending just a single word. Why? But even that feels too heavy for the silence between us. You don't reject me with anger. You reject me with absence. You don't hurt me with words. You hurt me with nothingness. A quiet, empty space where your voice used to live. Maybe you think I'm strong, that I'll understand, that I'll stay even when ignored, that my heart is made of patience instead of fragile emotions. But even the softest heart reaches a point where silence becomes unbearable. I stare at your last seen time like it holds some secret meaning. Were you thinking of me? Were you thinking of someone else? Or not thinking of me at all? I wish I knew. But all I have is your glowing online status and a darkness in your replies that grows deeper each day. Still, I wait, because the heart doesn't forget so easily, even when the mind begs it to. I try to distract myself, to pull my heart away from the screen that holds your name, but even in silence, I feel the weight of you. Every thought returns, like a tide that refuses to leave the shore. Your absence has become a presence of its own, loud, overwhelming, a constant shadow that follows me everywhere. I carry it in my chest, in my breath. In every moment I pause and wonder where you are. Maybe you're laughing at someone else's messages. Maybe you're replying to a heart that isn't mine. Maybe you're lost in a world I'm no longer part of. And the truth stings, even when unspoken. Every time you come online, a tiny flame lights up inside me, a reminder that hope can be both beautiful and cruel. But each minute you stay silent turns that flame into smoke. I wish I could tell you how heavy it feels to wait for someone who doesn't think of you. How painful it is to care for someone who treats your love like an unread message. I scroll through our old chats, searching for the warmth you once gave so freely. But the words feel distant now, like memories written in fading ink. Still, somewhere deep inside, a part of me whispers that maybe tomorrow will be different. Maybe you'll finally see how much your silence hurts. Maybe you'll remember that my heart still waits for a single reply from you. Sometimes I close my eyes and imagine your reply, how it would feel, how it would sound, how it would calm the storm that has been raging inside me. Just one message from you could turn my night into peace again. But imagination is the only place where your words still reach me. Reality is quieter, colder, a long hallway of unanswered thoughts, and doors you refuse to open. I wonder if you know how many times a day my fingers hover over your name. How many times I stop myself from sending another message because I'm afraid of more silence. I try to convince my heart that your silence is not personal, that maybe you're tired, maybe you're sad, maybe life is pulling you in too many directions. But another part of me whispers that if you truly cared, you'd find a moment, even a second, to let me know I still matter. Your silence feels like winter, cold and unforgiving, a season that refuses to pass. I wrap myself in memories, like blankets, trying to stay warm, with the echoes of your old affection. But memories don't reply, and nostalgia doesn't heal the wounds of now. Still, I wait for you, even when the waiting drains me, even when the hope hurts me, even when the silence feels like a slow goodbye. You're too gentle to say, but too distant to hide. There are moments when I promise myself I won't check your status again, that I won't let your silence control the rhythm of my heart. But promises break easily when love is involved. My hands betray me, my heart betrays me. Even my loneliness pushes me toward your name, like a magnet drawn to something that hurts and heals at the same time. I wonder if you ever pause before opening someone else's chat, if you ever think of me, even for a heartbeat. Do you miss me, even a little? Or have I become someone you once knew but never think about now? Your silence grows heavier. Each passing day, a quiet confession. You never speak aloud. It tells me everything I don't want to hear. I wish you understood how many unsent messages sit in my chest, how many questions sleep on the edge of my tongue, how many nights I've waited for a sound that never comes. Your reply. Maybe you think I'll always stay, that my heart is made of unending patience. But even love has limits. Even hope gets tired. Even the strongest hearts eventually break under the weight of someone else's silence. Yet here I am, still waiting, still hoping, still hurting, all because your name still matters more to me than my own peace. Sometimes I try to imagine what you would say if you finally replied. Would it be a simple hi, a long explanation, or just an apology wrapped in excuses? I no longer know how to believe. I rehearse conversations that never happened, replies that never come, closures that never arrive. In my mind you speak to me, but in reality you choose silence over and over. It's strange how a person can be so present and so absent at the same time. You exist on my screen, but not in my world. You breathe somewhere, laugh somewhere, live somewhere, but not with me anymore. Your silence has become a mirror I'm afraid to look into, because every unanswered message reflects a truth I don't want to face. That maybe I'm holding on to someone who has already let go. I keep asking myself if I did something wrong, if I loved too much, if I cared too deeply, if I expected too honestly. Maybe my vulnerability was too loud. Maybe my affection was too overwhelming. But deep inside, I know the truth. People reply to those they want to keep. They answer the hearts they value. They choose the souls they can't lose. And your silence tells me exactly where I stand. Still, my heart refuses to walk away, as if leaving you would tear apart the pieces of me that still believe you might come back with a single message. Nights are the hardest, when the world sleeps and only my thoughts keep me company. I see your name glowing on the screen, a small cruel reminder that you exist somewhere, yet not here with me. I wonder if you even realize the gravity of this silence. Every scene feels heavier than 1,000 storms. Every pause between messages feels longer than a year. Sometimes I imagine what it would be like to be invisible to you, to vanish from your mind, as completely as you have vanished from your replies. Would it feel the same as the way I feel now? I try to keep busy, to distract my mind from the ache of waiting. But even laughter feels hollow when I remember that your attention is elsewhere, your thoughts far from me. I wish I could send you everything I'm feeling, without scaring you away, without pushing you farther into silence. But words are fragile, and my heart is fragile too, and neither can cross the invisible wall you've built. I know I shouldn't wait. I know I should turn away. I know I should stop, hoping for a reply that may never come. But the heart has its own laws, and mine refuses to obey. Every time you go online, a spark ignites, a foolish hope rises, and every time you remain silent, the spark dies into the ashes of longing. I sometimes wonder if you remember the moments when we talked freely, when words were bridges and not walls. Do you remember the laughter, the small confessions, the quiet nights we shared through our screens? Or have those memories faded? Like old photos, beautiful but distant, visible yet untouchable. Have I become someone you scroll past without a thought, a name that no longer carries weight? In your world, I send messages into emptiness, hoping, praying that one day they find you, not as a burden, not as a reminder, but as a heartbeat you cannot ignore. Every online feels like a test, A question I cannot answer, a riddle my heart cannot solve. Do you stay silent? To punish me? To protect yourself? Or simply because you no longer feel the same? Sometimes I imagine you typing, then stopping, then deleting every word, afraid of feeling what you once felt for me. Maybe that's it. You are scared of yourself, of the weight of love that I still carry. But fear does not excuse the nights I spend waiting, the hours I lose, hoping for a single sign, the pain of knowing you are near, yet unreachable, even in the darkness, even in the quiet. Even when my heart feels empty, I find a strange comfort in loving you still, even when you choose not to see me, not to hear me, not to answer me.